私は渡らんな。
Woo!
明日からしっかりしよう。しっかりしっかり。私ら存在自体がかしましいです。
Welcome to the Money Mindset, where we dive deep into the economics shaping lives on opposite ends of the financial spectrum. Today, we have two powerful stories. One from a man who's had to fight through financial hardships, where every dollar counts. And one from a man who's reached the pinnacle of wealth, with resources most can only imagine.
In this episode, we're not just exploring numbers and policies. We're uncovering real stories. Stories of resilience, privilege, struggle, and triumph. How do they see the world? What drives their decisions? And what do they believe are the root causes of economic disparity? Join us as we bridge the divide and explore the forces that shape wealth, opportunity, and hope. I am Gustavo Bling.
And I am Jesse Blackman. So today we have our two guests. One is from the top 1% of society, a well-known CEO of a multi-billion-dollar industry. Let's welcome Erman Trout.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
And on the other side of the spectrum, representing the grassroots movements, Jimmy McDonald.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you,
Morning.
Jimmy. Nice to meet you, Mr. Jimmy.
Morning.
Thank you.
But before that, let's head to an advertisement break.
I look for peace, but she I don't have time. What I need for keeps me silly and be play. Now look at this. Madness and magnet keeps attracting me. I try to run, but see I'm not that fast. I fit a code, but surely finish last. Cause day and night, the London Stone is into figures night. He's not alone for the day and night. The London Stone is into figures night. Day and night. The London Stone is into figures night.
So before we start, let us first know who are our esteemed guests here today. So can you please introduce yourself, sir?
Thank you very much. So before I introduce myself, I'd like to thank everyone here. It's a privilege to sit here along with our successful and accomplished individual. So a bit about me. I'm Jimmy and I'm a call center for like 5 years. So I'm trying my best to survive and to provide necessities of my family and also myself. Thank you.
So, sir, I know everybody in this table knows that you are Mr. Erman Trout. But the big question is, what makes Erman Trout Erman Trout?
Well, I guess for everyone involved and for the people who are going to be watching this podcast, they would know me as the rich guy. So I guess what makes Erman Trout would be the $88 billion worth of assets I have at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're insanely rich. You can afford this person right here on a ride. Some of your assets if you want to, really. So, to you, sir, Mr. Jimmy, what makes you a different man from Mr. Erman Trout?
I'm far more way different compared to Mr. Erman Trout. I'm just an average type of person. I'm just trying my best to sustain my life and to meet my ends and enjoy little things in life, of course.
So can you tell me how you meet those needs, Mr. McDonald?
Mr. Jimmy na lang, Mr. Jimmy.
Okay. Cut. Okay.
Okay. Ano question yan? Ano question?
Needs.
Needs.
So how do you meet those needs, Mr. Jimmy?
So first of all, I will always prioritize my needs over my wants. We all know that I'm an average type of person. So I'm a minimum wage earner. So my income are just enough to satisfy my needs. And if I have extras, that's when I can satisfy my wants.
My wants, okay. So, another follow-up question, Mr. Jimmy. Since you value yourself, I know you value yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanna ask my first question about our topic today. I wanna ask you, how do you perceive your relationship with your body, Mr. Jimmy?
With my body, well, I see my body as a fundamental layer of my material self. So I take care of my body, I invest time, effort, and resources. Because I see my body as part of myself, as an extension of myself. So how I present my body is how I present myself. So that's it.
Okay, so can you tell us a specific body part that you have the most connection with?
Oh, for the idea of some, I do love art. So I love to paint. No? So if I say one of the most important part of my body is my hands, I know all of us will agree. There's a lot of things that I cannot do without my hands, of course. So yes, my hands.
So I would like to ask the same question to you, Sir Trout. How do you perceive your relationship with your body?
I share the same sentiments for the most part. I believe that the body is our medium for success and that we have to take care of it in order to fulfill our dreams and our aspirations.
Okay. So, a while ago, Mr. Jimmy or Mr. McDonald said that his most valued part of his body is his hands. I'm very curious on what you have to say on that.
Also,
Your own opinion.
so earlier, Mr. McDonald mentioned that all of us would agree that the hands are the most important body part, but I would like to beg to differ. I believe that our mouth, and especially in tandem with our tongue, is the most important body part, given that we can communicate with others with this instrument. Because no man is an island. Whoever said that axiom, and he's right. Because with our mouths, we can do anything.
So basically, you're more on the physical
Yes,
part, while Mr. Trout is on the more social or the more vocal part.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's proceed to our second question. Because I wanna ask you, since family plays a vital role in shaping one's individuality. Now, I wanna ask you to tell us how your parents or siblings' successes and failures shape your own identity and aspirations. So let's first start with you, Mr. Trout.
Asking me how my family, my sisters or my parents, their successes and failures shape my reality today or something. I guess it would lean more towards their failures, given that actually, contrary to popular belief, I came from a poor background and I had to toil day and night in order to achieve this level of wealth and to achieve this level of social standing. So I guess their failures really motivated me to try every single day, even amidst failure, so that I may be able to build a good life for myself and my descendants.
So, what I'm trying to get from you is with the art of determination, you yourself, once being part of the below the social class, have steadily climbed up the social ladder in order to be where you are today.
Yes.
So this is very interesting because for you, Mr. McDonald, you came from a poor family also. So I would like to ask, or if I'm curious, if you have the same sense of determination to strive for the top, because it is the art of self-investment or the investment in yourself in order to become a much better person.
Yes, actually, I agree with Mr. Ermetro. Me, myself, I am close to my family, and I see them as an extension and important part of myself. So let me tell you a story. So it's like a couple of years ago, I think, when one of my sisters graduated in high school, and she graduated. She graduated. So let me tell you a story. So a couple of years ago, one of my sisters graduated from high school. So she graduated as their batch salutatorian. So, to tell you honestly, I'm very proud of that. I felt immense pride, as if I am the one experiencing or receiving that recognition. So, basically, my point is, their success is my success. Likewise, if I can see them struggling, I see them facing challenges. So I also felt terrible. So basically, their success, their happiness, their sadness, and failure and hardship is also mine. So that's because I see them as part of who I am.
Okay, so that's understandable, really. So, does supporting them, or in this case, your family members or your close relatives, does supporting them financially affect your sense of responsibility or self-worth?
Yes, indeed. So basically, supporting them is like supporting myself.
Okay, so partner, blood is really thicker than water. Come on. Okay. Now I wanna proceed to my next question. This also applies for both of you, no? I wanna know, how big is your house?
So how big is my house? I guess it would be more appropriate to say houses, since I have multiple estates across various states and countries as well. It depends on where the business is thriving. For example, we bought a residence in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, since there are a lot of high-profile celebrities and well-known figures that frequent that area. And so, how do I say this? I guess in total there are about 20 houses in which we can shift from time to time depending on where we are. But in general, most of them are 3-story with a garage and 8 bathrooms.
So, I would like to ask, just for my curiosity, on for all of those, 20 houses that you own, because those are assets, I would like to ask the total of those houses.
The total, the net?
Yeah, the net,
Okay.
the net total.
I've actually kind of forgotten already, since most of these houses I bought a long time ago, but I will try to give you a figure. Let's say it's probably around $20 billion in estimation, because there are a lot of facilities nearby the houses that would still be considered part of the lot. But if it's just the house, then it should be a figure lower than that. But since there are other parts of it as well that within the lot or the real estate property, then it does boost up to a figure of around 20 billion approximately.
So that's a lot, really. $20 billion. I mean, I don't have $20 billion in the bank. Oh my god, I can't even reach $1 million,
I could really imagine how I could live from one house to another house,
Yeah.
partner. Now, I wanna ask, since you have a lot of houses, which one do you connect the most?
Which one do I connect the most? To be honest with you, I don't particularly connect with any of them at all. I merely view them as a place to sleep, eat, and repeat. But if you're talking about a connection with homes and whatnot, I guess I'm going to take you back to my ancestral house, where my parents and my family lived. And that house is now gone, it's demolished, it's not there anymore. But I still have a connection to that in my mind, so I still consider it a part of myself, even though it is not existing currently.
So that's really, really interesting, because some of the ancestral houses, especially here around this place, are demolished, well demolished. They are not, restored back to their former glory. But I would like to question Mr. Jimmy on about the same question, like how big is your house, and if your house is either big or small, how do you connect to it, at least emotionally?
Yes, thank you very much. So, unlike Mr. Ermentrout, I only have one house, of course. So, I do not have the exact measurement of my house, but it's not that big. Yet, it's good enough to protect us, to provide us shelter and all. So, it's like room for 5 people. So, yeah, that's it.
So 5 people. So it's you, your wife.
I don't have a wife, actually. I live with my mother, my father, and my 2 siblings.
So you don't have any children.
No, not yet.
So I would like to ask if you were to move out, of your one house and start a family of your own, would you rather live in a urban area or a rural area?
Growing up, I've lived most of my life in urban area. So basically, I'm born in an urban area, and I believe that I will die in an urban area.
Okay, it's really, really dark, but okay. So based on your level of possessions, the things that you own, it's really, really, what do I call this? Really separable. So for you, Sir Trout, do you feel that your possessions reflect your achievements or your identity?
For sure. I believe that my possessions and the material things that belong to me are reflective of my worth and merit as an individual.
How about you, Sir Jimmy?
So I would like to disagree with Mr. Ermentrout. So there's this saying from Mr. Russell Belt that what we have represents what we are, and I beg to differ in that. I believe that I am more than what I have, and my possessions does not define me as a person. I may be living in a small house, I don't have a lot in my bank account, but I believe I consider myself as a wealthy person. I'm wealthy of social connection, social currency. I'm rich in friends, And me personally, yes, you can define someone's taste, personality, based on what he or she have. But me personally, I wouldn't judge someone based on their possession. That's my philosophy in life.
Now, Mr. Jimmy, I want to ask, do you invest in your clothes or your wardrobes?
Oh, wardrobe. No, I do not. I do not really care about my wardrobe. So, to tell you honestly, if it weren't for the restrictions, I would love to attend this podcast wearing nothing but just my boxers. No, but kidding aside, of course, kidding aside. If you're gonna look at my wardrobe, all you can see is just a bunch of black faded tees, and of course I like to pair them with cargo pants and classic jeans. So I do not really care, and as long as I'm comfortable wearing it, that's what matters to me the most.
Oh, that's really, really technically very inspiring of you, Sir Jimmy, because some people living in this horrid earth, should I say, they really, most of them do not have the money to afford clothes that are very new, so they just use old clothes passed down from their siblings or what. So that really touches me deep in my heart. So I guess that I am expecting a different viewpoint on you, Mr. Trout. I do know that you are very rich. I assume that you have a very rich wardrobe as well.
Funny that you say that. So you were right in your expectation, Mr. Jesse, in that I really value my clothing and how the way I present and project myself to scrutiny and the public opinion. Since I am a high-profile figure, a lot of eyes are on me. So I have to always do my best to look good in front of the cameras, to look good in front of stakeholders, so that they might view me and say that, oh, that's a person that I want to associate myself with. And that is how we live in the upper echelons, given that we are a very business-minded folk. So, to recap what I said, basically, I really, really value my clothing, and because it projects my social standing in the business sphere, and it entails profit or non-profit if that depends on the clothing that I wear also.
Okay, so that's really understandable coming from the upper echelons of society. But I would like to ask Sir Jimmy. I mean, you said before that you are working as a call center agent for how many years now? 5 years. So in those 5 years, do you wear those same black tees, or do you occasionally buy a nice looking suit or tuxedo in order to fit society or to fit your workplace?
Well, professionalism-wise, of course, I wear formal attire, of course, in my work. But then, most of the time, outside of my work, of course, yes, black tees and all.
So, I wanna ask, are those your wants or just your needs?
Basically, you can tell that it's my type. I prefer simple outfit.
So it's like more of a need because
Yes,
it's
yes.
in your workplace.
Yes.
Okay. So, I wanna ask, since you have a different view, Mr. Trout, I wanna ask, how do you define for yourself your wants and your needs?
Well, I guess conventionally, my needs and my wants would not fit into the criteria that society would expect. So usually in society, we expect that needs are those that we need to survive: the shelter, the clothing, the food, and the water, and whatnot. But for me, since I am a member of the upper echelon and high society, the wants of the ordinary people also become my needs. So I need to project myself in a way that I look good. So even things like luxurious clothing that are usually just wants for the ordinary man become needs for me.
So that triggers a interesting question. So if you lost all of your material possessions tomorrow, what would still define you as a person? Because I know that you are very heavily dependent on designer brands and your luxurious clothing and your houses and whatnot. So I would just want to ask you, if you lost all of that tomorrow, what would still define you as a person? What would in your eyes still define you as you?
Okay, so good question actually. So if I were to lose everything, that means that my life would significantly change, and my status quo will become different. So I guess what would still define me is the hardworking nature that I possess, the defining characteristic of being resilient, determined, and I believe that no matter where you put me, you might put me in an island in the middle of nowhere, I will still be able to build my wealth back up with the knowledge and skills that I've accumulated from years of dabbling in the field.
Well, that's really good. That to be able to lose all of your material possessions, especially for a rich person, tomorrow, for example, would bring, at least to him, an inspiration to make much hard work, to work harder in order to build his wealth back up.
Yes, partner. Because earlier he mentioned that he came from a lower social standing before, right?
So I've been there before, yes.
Yeah, so you're just going to go your...
This is just part 2 electric boogaloo.
Okay.
So how about you, Sir Jimmy? I know I don't like to be offensive, but I think that you would also see yourself as not a part of the higher echelon yet.
Definitely.
But I would like to ask you what separates you and Mr. Trout in terms of working hard, because I know both of you are very hardworking persons, at least different objectives, in life, but still the same hardworking persons in society. So I would like to ask you that.
I agree with you. So me and Mr. Ermentrout may possess the same hard work nature, let's say, but then the circumstances and my situations are way different than them. So that's why we cannot judge a person based on their possessions, because although we can equate our own hard work natures, but then my circumstances and my situations, let's say in my history, is different from Mr. Ermentrout.
Dear viewers, after this advertisement, we'll be right back.
Echo Nami, Echo Good, Echo Mighty, Vision Heal, Echo Nami, Echo Good, Echo Mighty, Vision Heal, Rose Flower, Rose Flower, Rose Flower, Rose.
Welcome back to the Money Mindset, dear viewers. So, let's pick up where we left off. So, I was asking both of you guys if you both have credit cards. Let's start with you, Mr. Jimmy.
Me, I don't have a credit card. I believe that my incomes and my money is enough to fulfill my needs and my family needs.
How about you, Mr. Trout?
I am currently in the possession of a credit card since it is too encumbering to bring the fiscal resources around with you all the time. So having a credit card is ease of access for me.
So I would like to give you a follow-up question then. So do you feel that credit cards have changed your spending habits?
I would say so, since there is an absence of a tangible amount of money or cash that is when you buy or when you purchase things with a credit card. It also sort of gives you the impression that you're not spending that much and you're not losing that many resources. So it does tend to lead to overspending. But since I am one of the richest people in the world, that does not really affect me in any significant way.
I think I felt like that I shouldn't have asked this question in first place, but let's move on. Sir Jimmy, I think that I've heard a while ago that you didn't have a credit card. Why is that? So do you find credit cards helpful or more of a trap given your financial situation?
Yes, you heard it right. So yes, I see credit card as a trap because I see that what do you call this? Yes, I see credit card as a trap because with credit card, me in my experience, I used to have one, and with that, I tend to buy things impulsively, you know, because its convenience makes it tempting to buy things that I don't need. So yes, I see that as a trap.
Oh, that's really
So he's really prioritizing the needs than wants. Am I correct?
Yes.
So it's more of a choice.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So to wrap things up, I wanna ask a very important questions to our guests.
Yeah.
And I believe that there's a key takeaways for this question. Now, I wanna ask you both, if someone were to analyze your personality based solely on the items in your room, what conclusion might they draw? Now, I wanna ask Mr. Jimmy first.
Yeah, so if I will give you a chance to visit my room, right? So you will probably see me as a person, a minimalist type of person, because there's nothing interesting in my room. It's just a simple kind of room, minimalist type of room. Unlike Mr. Trot, we don't know. No. So yes, maybe you'll view me as a minimalist type of person.
So, Mr. Jimmy, if you say that you have a minimalist room, when we enter that room, you are expecting us to see just a white painted wall with only one bed.
Nah. When I say minimalist, it's just everything that a house must have. So something like that, like nothing interesting like chandelier or what. So yes.
Okay, so that's understandable. How about you, Sir Trout, Mr. Trout? You're one of the richest men in the world, and of course, here in this podcast, we love rich men. So I would like to ask you if the same question, really, from what my partner Gustavo said. If someone were to analyze your personality based solely on the items in your room, what conclusions might they draw?
Which room?
Oh, okay.
I'm afraid I can't quite keep track of the number of rooms that I have in the first place, since I move from place to place from time to time, if not almost all the time. And my housekeepers tend to move things around, so I don't even know where my belongings or my valuables that I would place in those rooms go. Sometimes it just ends up on my desk in my office.
Yeah.
But if I tend to lose things like my wedding ring or my $500,000 Rolex watch, I would be expectant to see it in my desk. After a while, it will be flown out from wherever I left it.
So, okay, I was meant to say to tell the questions more specifically. You know, your bedroom.
My bedroom right now?
Yes, your bedroom right now.
So my nearest estate here is in Westwoods. So In my bedroom in Westwoods, we have a 60-inch flat screen TV with a hologram and an AI assistant robot. So I guess it would give the impression of a very tech savvy, very in line with the state-of-the-art technology kind of person. So it would really give off a rich vibe that the normal people would not be able to afford or to be able to access.
So basically, when the both of us would enter your room that you're staying,
You wouldn't
right
be able to
now.
enter my room.
No.
There are biometrics in place.
So
unless I'm personally there.
yes, of course,
okay.
of course.
Because I'm always on the move, right? Like I can't guarantee that I will be able to give you a tour of my room.
Let's say hypothetically.
Hypothetically, okay.
Yeah. So let's say hypothetically that you are there with us, giving a tour of your own bedroom. So do we expect that you are the state-of-the-art type of person to be up with the latest technologies of today's era?
I would say so.
Okay, understandable. So Gustavo, because they have answered the question, who do you think you're most leaning to?
I know, you know what? We really love rich guys.
No.
But I think I won't side to anyone this time.
Okay.
How about you, partner?
I mean, I would say the same thing, but if I were to choose, I mean, it's hard to choose,
Yeah.
I mean,
Two sides of the extreme, right?
yeah, it's the two sides of the extreme. You want to be minimalistic as possible in order for you to, be calm emotionally, just, but also, you would like to have like that, that cash, that technology you have in such a room where you can experiment or play with all the time. So I would say that I'm also neutral, so yeah.
Yeah. And so that's it.
So I think that wraps up the podcast for today. So I think that you should follow us on our Twitter or our social media accounts, YouTube, Twitter, and at the Money Mindset. So remember that, at Money Mindset. And you can send us your questions if you like for them to answer for us. But let's put that on in another episode of this podcast. So I guess that's it.
Before this episode ends, I would like to ask Mr. Jimmy McDonald a question.
Yes.
Do you want an executive spot in my board of directors? There's a vacancy, and I've seen that you're a very hardworking man and quite intelligent too.
How about that? We'll talk about it.
Oh, bro says he's gonna talk about it with the CEO himself.
Exactly.
So I guess that's it.
That's it.
Goodbye, I guess.
Yes, goodbye, bro.
Goodbye, partner.
Goodbye.
And thank you to
Nice
our
to,
very handsome and intelligent guest.
Later.
So that's it. Ta-ta. Goodbye. See you soon.